Okay, so my name is Isaiah Garza, and I'm doing a local history project for Collegiate High School on Hurricane Celia. Would you please state your name and how old you were whenever Hurricane Celia hit?
My name is Vicente Salas Jr. and I was approximately, well, just take, what is 46 from 70, and that's about how old I was, what, my late 30s or what? Somewhere around there.
1970s, whenever the hurricane
Mm-hmm.
hit. Okay. Okay, so the first question is, what was your first reaction when you first heard that Hurricane Celia was coming your way?
No, it's not going to happen. We had this so many times before, and I said, no, he won't. I didn't believe it was going to happen until once the sky got darkest black, black. And the wind started, growing, and it started getting faster and stuff. That's when I said, well, we'll probably just get the outskirts. But no, we didn't get the direct hit. We were on I think the hurricane entered into somewhere in Port Aransas, but because they go counterclockwise, we still got a lot. It was considered a Category 3 with winds of gust of 167 miles an hour and sustained winds of 100 or so, something like that.
Okay. That brings me to my next question. Where were you exactly whenever Hurricane Celia hit?
Here.
Here in Corpus Christi?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember like a
In this
location
house.
in this household?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and did you feel prepared when Hurricane Celia hit Corpus Christi?
No, not whenever you started.
Caught you by
When you
surprise?
started hearing the crackling of trees and poles and everything. No, I didn't think this house was going to make it. As a matter of fact, this house sits on piers and it's shifted it.
Oh wow. The
And
foundation moved a little bit.
the only thing that saved this house is that this is an old house and it's got wooden siding on both. Instead of sheetrock,
Mm-hmm.
it's got that on it. And it's a lot stronger, surprisingly enough. That
Okay. So like after Hurricane Celia hit and everything, like how was your daily life affected? Like did it change anything?
oh, it was first of all there was a restriction of movement.
Oh wow.
You couldn't because there was all sorts of glass, wooden particles, board, nails,
Mm.
and poles. There used to be a tower here, back here in the corner of Agnes and Staples,
Mm.
very big, where Channel 6 used to be. That went over and blocked off Staples. And here in this place, there used to be a house.
Mm.
There's those that have like an attic, like a little second floor on top. Well, this roof flew and landed over there on Brownlee,
Whoa.
the roof of that house.
It traveled that far?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
man, we were only here. We were basically only here.
Were there problems with like electricity and light and resources?
Yeah, well, of course, the power went out.
Mm.
Uh, Electricity was out for about 2 weeks.
Wow.
But fortunately, we didn't lose, uh, like we still had gas
Mm.
or stoves we could cook and water.
Did you have phone?
At least you could take
Was there
a
still
shower.
telephone capabilities? Like could
No,
you
the telephone was out.
telephone was out as well?
Yeah. At that time, there wasn't the convenience of your cell phone where you can take pictures and everything. So consequently, I don't have any pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how long did it take for like modern life to return back to normal, for everything to get back to normal after this hurricane? Do you know how long it took?
Well, for different places, different parts of town, it was different. For us, it took about a month
Mm.
before everything. So we got the power back, and because of course they put a 6 o'clock curfew.
Oh wow.
Yeah, everybody had to be inside their home by 6, or risk being arrested. That was to cut down on looting.
Oh yeah, looting.
Yeah.
That happened a lot, right?
Yes, it did. And we had the HEBs and the stores. They lost power too,
They did.
so they were giving away all their perishable goods.
Wow, I did not know that.
And ice was worth its weight in gold.
Ice?
Hmm
Why was it so important?
Well, since some of them didn't have power, I mean, it's hard to drink, like to drink a soda or to drink water.
Mm.
You gotta remember, this was in August.
Hot time.
It's hot. And we had there used to be an ice out on Agnes and McKenzie,
Mm.
where the old Kentville plant used to be.
Mm.
And you have lines stretched out all that for a
Wow.
little 25-pound block of ice.
That's crazy.
Much of which melted by the time you got home, but there still was something.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Okay. So, how did the homes and buildings in Corpus Christi look after being struck by Hurricane Celia?
What?
The buildings and businesses, like, how did they look?
Oh, the well, you didn't see the Coliseum because the Coliseum was partly damaged. All the downtown, they all had damaged.
Mm-hmm.
It was the downtown area. They had the downtown area blocked off because they had the jewelry stores and all that just laying around, to discourage looting. They blocked off the downtown and houses around here. Uh, Poles, telephone poles, and trees, and everything here. You couldn't go certain area because you'd have flats every other block because there was nails. And
Debris.
actually, down there where I worked, there was it turned those railway cars
Mm-hmm.
on the side, and there was actually a telephone pole that had a hay fork, not a pitchfork, a hay fork,
Oh wow.
going right through there.
That's crazy.
And so somebody stole it. And I put the chainsaw to it, and he stole it. I don't know what happened to it.
It's interesting to find out that looting was a big problem whenever the hurricane hit.
Looting yeah, it was a problem. I don't know how big because, like I said, everybody was mostly, restricted to the area where you lived.
Mm.
Mm.
So a lot of houses were they like torn down and
A lot of houses had damage to mainly the roofs,
Mm-hmm. Many of the roofs.
and strangely enough, there was a house where you think that this big strong house, nothing's gonna happen. That had been blown away. And then you have some old shack
Mm.
sitting next to it, and it was still there.
Wow, that's interesting.
which leads me to believe that there might have been a few tornadoes spawned in there.
Strong winds, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, what kind of support did you receive from like organizations? Were there any organizations that helped you, like Red
At
Cross?
that time, there was not that so many organizations involved as, as we have now.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, if, to hear us, we were like on our own, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, when you went to get ice and everything, there was a big long line. Whereas, the Red Cross was out giving sandwiches and stuff like that.
So Red Cross would hand out
Yeah,
food.
the Red Cross is right on the other side of Staples down here.
Mm-hmm.
So they were involved, but other than that, uh, it was for a while there. You know, you could hear the cracking of the timbers
Mm-hmm.
of the wood, and we thought that it was going to go at any moment. I said, if the roof goes, that's it. But no, fortunately, the roof didn't go. And what was first was the aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not saying that it wasn't rough during the time that it was here, but the aftermath. You know, you get used to your routine. You go down to the store, you get something. Well, all the convenience stores are pretty well knocked out.
Okay. Brings me to my next question. How did Hurricane Celia affect you emotionally in any way?
Well,
Not really.
not me. Like I say, everybody was affected differently.
Mm-hmm.
But me and myself, no. I had just, I've been really from the military
Mm-hmm.
uh, about 2 years before that. So, I mean, I wasn't too affected, by
Okay.
it.
Okay. And that brings me to my final question. Did Hurricane Celia change your outlook or perspective on hurricanes?
Yes, it did. Mainly because we had never, I had seen a lot of stuff, but when it's actually happening here, and the fact that it's been so long since we haven't had nothing. I mean, we're long overdue. And when it does, I just hope we don't get another Katrina, because that was, they were not prepared to begin with. And
When you say they, who do you mean by they?
when you see bodies laying on the street, you think you're in some third world country,
Mm-hmm.
not in a city in the United States, in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
They use that dome, and of course those things bring out the best in people, but they also bring out the best in the worst. You know that get robbed in those shelters, and I mean it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
Okay.
But that's now I look, and I see, and I know that sooner or later we're gonna get something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when.
Very true.
The only thing I think we're better prepared. I mean, the government, why? The people, no, because there's very few people that have that have actually gone through something like that. The ones that we had before was, yeah, it was a lot of rain. It was a little flooding. But when it starts tearing houses down and having turning vehicles over, that. But there's very few people here. Here, I mean, this house is here. None of that house wasn't there. The house was never repaired,
Mm-hmm.
and it was finally torn down. And the people, there was a man that had lots of children, and at that time the custom was that he had a truck,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd go to work at the big cherry pick stuff like that, and they'd all go to work out there. But one year they went and never returned. They just abandoned that place. And that's all. That's the people here, the lady that was in the corner, she died. None of the neighbors that are here now were here when it happened.
Were there any fatalities that happened during the
Hmm?
hurricane? Like, did people die? Were there people?
Yes, there were some fatalities. Not as much. There was, I think, I'm not too sure on this, but something like 11 people were killed. Some uh, going through messing with the electricity,
Mm.
and I don't know how many it's exactly due to the.
Okay.
This is, like I say, it's April 31. That's your mom. Well, her mom was born in 73. We weren't even married then, but she couldn't know about it.
Okay. Thank you so much for letting me interview, and this concludes the interview
Okay.
questions. Thank you.